Hello guys, and welcome to the first lecture in this course. In this lecture, we're going to introduce the concept of time management. We're going to talk about the science behind time management, and we're going to go into depth to explain all the different factors that might affect, in a negative or a positive way, the time management process. A lot of people think that time management is simply planning, which is not the case. If time management was that simple, anybody would be able to do it. But the truth of the matter is, time management is much more complicated than that. There is a science behind time management. We want to take you on a trip inside the human brain for you guys to be able to see all the details inside your brain, thoughts that can actually affect time management. And we want you to be able to control these thoughts, to control these patterns, and to eventually use your brain power effectively, achieving proper time management. So, as I said, time management is much more than just writing a to-do list or planning a day ahead. It's about mind management, being aware of every single thing in your brain that can affect time management. It's about effective planning, which is knowing how to plan, not just taking a piece of paper and writing your to-do list. Planning needs to be effective, and there's a certain way to do so. And finally, scientific methods. You can't wake up one day and expect yourself to be a time management expert. It's a process, and there's a lot to learn, and that's why we want to cover the scientific methods behind effective time management. Alan Laken said, "Failing to plan is planning to fail." So the to-do list that you never followed, the New Year resolution that you dropped, the schedule that you forgot about, in each and every scenario, you are failing to plan. And as you can see, failing to plan is planning to fail. And that's exactly why you couldn't carry on with the plans that you had. You couldn't carry on with the schedules that you have, and it all went to waste. People ask themselves every single day how they should plan their day. But how do you expect to plan a day effectively when the concept of planning itself is not that concrete yet? The scientific approach to planning is very different than what people generally consider as planning, as I said before. And what we're aiming for in this course is not to just teach you how to effectively plan and be able to manage your time properly, but to maximize your productivity. We talked about these things before, and you guys are familiar with them. A to-do list that is longer than novels. A New Year resolution plan that goes to waste. Working long hours and not seeing good enough results. Changing and switching your to-do list every single time and feeling that there's not enough hours a day. Feeling pressured by time. We all went through these things, and we don't really think that the problem is time management when in fact it is. We all have the exact 24 hours a day, but it's up to each and every person's time management. That's what determines the difference in the lifestyle. That's what determines the difference in terms of results, free time, and eventually achieving goals. I've watched a lot of motivational videos that say, you don't need time planning, you don't need a good diet, you don't need anything. You can go 3 days without sleeping, just working. And of course, sometimes this is going to happen. Sometimes you're going to spend long hours working on a project that you might not eat well, you might not sleep for 2 nights, it might happen. But this can't be a lifestyle. And it doesn't matter how motivated you are or what your goal is, time management is essential. For you to be able to carry on with a plan or with a schedule, you need willpower, and your willpower gets drained, and before you know it, you find yourself falling into time management problems. Why? Because you have no willpower. It's drained. And how do you cultivate a willpower that can ensure good time management? Of course, we're going to talk about this very soon in next lectures. But for now, I want you guys to understand the concepts that can be an obstacle for time management. What you guys know as willpower is, in fact, something called the prefrontal cortex. This is the section in your brain that determines decision making and regulating behavior and following through with plans. And we want you to actually understand how the prefrontal cortex works and how you can use it to your own advantage. The downside to it, willpower is limited. It's like a battery. The more you use it, the less energy you have. The more you resist, the more you consume willpower. And that's exactly why, for example, when you're on a diet, you're more likely to binge on food at night, because during the day, your willpower is good. Your prefrontal cortex is charged. Your batteries are charged. But at the end of the night, you're drained because you kept resisting and resisting and resisting throughout the day, that at night, your willpower is so drained that you can't say no. And you don't just eat a slice of pizza. Because your willpower is so drained, you binge eat. You get 2 pizzas and an ice cream maybe. And that's normal. That's not just you. That's every human being that walks on this planet. And this is related to time management, because when you have a plan, when you have a schedule, every single time you're doing something, you're using your willpower to sit down and finish the task. Every time you want to go do something else, play basketball, you want to go check your phone and you say, no, I need to focus on work. You are resisting temptations, and this will drain your willpower. And I don't want you to think that time management is just about willpower, that if you have a good enough willpower, you'll be able to manage your time effectively, because it's much more than just willpower. It's attention span, prioritization, distractions, noise, skills, pressure, power, action, adrenaline, multitasking, nutrition, habits, introspection, plasticity, amygdala. There's a lot of concepts that gets into time management, and we're going to cover all of those concepts that you need to be able to manage your time effectively. On the bright side, there are ways to scientifically and effectively manage your time, and we're going to get right to it in the next lecture.